Very proud to be here. Thank you.
When I first met you, Bryan, you were someone who I immediately said to myself, this is a fantastic networker. It really allowed for you and I to build a foundational relationship. And Melissa and I talk on this podcast all the time about how important it is to build a genuine connection when you're first meeting someone for the first time. So when I met you, it was just such a natural conversation. And I thought to myself, well, this gentleman certainly has had the proper experience and coaching with networking. How did it all evolve? And then how did you end up here at Browning?
I want to preface what I'm going to say with talking about Browning first. And one of the questions that you get asked and I want to say I worked with Jerry Santa Maria, and one of the hardest questions that I was asked when this process started was, what do you want to do? And it was like someone shook an Etch-a-Sketch and it was blank. And I told Jerry, for the bulk of my career, I have really been a dog chasing cars. I never had a master plan. If I saw something I liked, if I saw something I thought was interesting, I pursued it. And it made for, you could call it diverse. I've heard it called a patchwork, but there was not a whole lot of rhyme or reason to it. But given my background was in the sciences, I'm a STEM guy, microbiology really, it moved me more towards biotech companies. And I love people. I really enjoyed being around people. I was never going to be a guy that was going to be in a laboratory. So the transition from the lab into sales and marketing, into tech service, anything where I was interacting with people was actually pretty simple. And starting, December of 2022, I'm starting to dance. I'm getting on LinkedIn. I'm applying to jobs. I'm applying to jobs that I should be qualified for. I'm hearing nothing. It's like yelling into a hole. And I'm starting to get a little concerned at this point, right? And then finally, I don't even know how. I'd looked for a job since 2006, right? So a lot had changed in that time. Somehow, I heard about career counseling, career advocacy, went to Google. You guys were at the top of the list. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, okay, I got to check this out. I'm reading it and I'm not thinking, because you guys are selective about who you work with, I'm thinking, I'm not going to hear anything. Next day, John Sharachik calls me. And we go through how I arrived here. I'm concerned about what's happening here. I'm concerned about the longevity of my career here. I just got to figure out what I'm going to do next. And then began working with you, 2023. And I wasn't a natural networker initially. It was awful. It was really, really awful. I'm naturally outgoing. I love people. I adore people, and very extroverted. But then having to ask for something was very hard. The quid pro quo, all of that. And I know Jerry had to get off the phone calls with me and just shake his head because it wasn't a natural progression. But then he said something that clicked, and it was people like people. People like helping people. And if you are authentic about really needing help, people are really going to try to help you. And that was my experience. That's what got me there.
What were your initial thoughts when Jerry said networking?
I had a picture of a guy handing out business cards. When I first heard that was going to be the process, that was unsettling, to be very, very honest. Jerry is very good at communicating in a language that suits you. All of you guys are. That's one thing Browning, I found, did. They meet you where you are. There's no one size fits all. They do an excellent job of, okay, what is it that really makes Bryan tick? So when Jerry got to a point where he was talking about building my tribe, that's when it changed. But I've got to say, going through this process, I've come out of this with friends. That's what it finally took for me to be able to have everything click. Once I did, it went fast. It went very, very fast. Give her the resume. I don't hear anything. 6 weeks later, I'm in an interview. 7 or 8 weeks later, they're making me an offer. But that's the moment where I can tell you, without Browning, without having gone through the training, I would have just kind of sat there and continued having a normal conversation.
It just takes one conversation to change everything. Just one. Most people are apprehensive to network. Once you get over that hump and you embrace it, our most successful clients truly find value in every connection that they make. And it's a really great indicator for us as campaign managers, as coaches, as advisors. We can gauge where a client is at in their success and in their process when they constantly come back to us and they say, this isn't working, this isn't working, this isn't working. You guys are connecting me with people who don't have much for me. And it's that one perspective change. And you're right, bringing the heart into the equation is incredibly important, because people love helping people, but what people love doing best is helping people who are passionate, not desperate.
And I'm sure that this is something that you're going to take with you for the rest of your career, because now you understand the power in networking, and you may never stop networking, knowing how important it is.
I won't at this point. And what I found was, when I came out, my head and heart health were in a better place, having made a change to a happier work environment. It was amazing what types of things started opening up. I mean, just a lot of things changed for me. And some of the networking that I had done in the run-up to this started coming to fruition as well. I got a call from Our Lady of the Lake University over in San Antonio, and they've asked me to be an industry advisor for their customer experience program, a certification program. And there were some calls made from people I had networked with previously that elevated me to a point where I could take part in that, I believe. The thing is, the people that you deal with at Browning, the way you guys operate, it makes it very easy to be passionate. It makes it very, very easy to bring all of you.